One of the reasons I started researching health probably about 15 years ago when my mother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. She basically had the attitude that she just needed to eat her meals on time and take her medicine, and that was pretty much that. And the diet at the time that they were giving, and I do think there are some doctors that still do, is a low-fat diet, which isn't really that great for most people, and it certainly isn't good for someone who's a diabetic. Most low-fat, non-fat foods have a lot of sugar added to make them taste good, and that's the worst thing a diabetic can do. So you're really better off just eating something that has the full fat in it and just having a little less and things like that. So it's actually not that complicated, and I'm just my whole mission is just to make health simple, and then it's just basically about eating real food. Hi, this is Meals with Mary Rose, and today I'm going to make my favorite breakfast smoothie followed by a green juice. So let's get started. This is my favorite breakfast smoothie, and the reason I wanted to make this for you is because I think a lot of people they cleanse, and I don't really like cleanses myself longer than 3 days, because I don't feel like it's that beneficial once it's past 3 days. But it's a personal decision. But to add a smoothie in as part of your daily routine, I think it's really healthy. So right here I have a cup of water and a handful of spinach, which is about a quarter to a half a cup. And here we go. So here I've got a half of a frozen banana. What I do is when I get home from the store, I take my bananas and I break them in half, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag and put them right in the freezer. Because if I don't do that, I'll just, go through bananas and they'll get rotten. And so anyway, there's a half a banana. You could put a whole banana if you want, but I feel like that's enough. And this is a cup of frozen organic strawberries. Just put them right in there. Raspberries are great because they're the lowest in sugar content for the berries, and they also have really high in fiber. So you're getting a lot of vitamins, a lot of fiber. And then next here we have a tablespoon of flax seeds that I've ground in the, I take a coffee grinder and you grind them up as you're going to use them. I just have a coffee grinder that's designated for flax seeds, and I keep them in the refrigerator because they can go rancid really easily. And so that's why you don't want to grind them till right before you're going to use them. And then here I also have a tablespoon of hemp seeds. And hemp seeds are also really high in fiber, really high in protein, and they have like magnesium. They're a superfood. So that's a good thing to add too. The reason I want, and so in your smoothie, I think a lot of times people make the mistake of, they put a lot of fruit, it's heavy on fruit, and you need to have some fiber and protein in here in order so that you're not just drinking juice and spiking your sugar and then your insulin's going crazy. It acts the same as just eating sugar. So you really want to make sure, in my opinion, to have protein and fiber, and then a little bit of healthy fat. So this is it's a tablespoon of cashew butter, or you can use almond butter, or even just plain old peanut butter. And whichever you choose, just choose the natural that is just ground up nuts and no added sugar. It can have some salt, but no sugar. If you are allergic to nuts, a great thing to, if you want to switch that out, you could put coconut butter, and that would give you some healthy fat and some richness to this. So you really don't have to put in the nuts if you're allergic to nuts. Or I have a friend that's recently developed a nut allergy in her later years, and she never was before. So, okay, we're going to liquefy. My lid is still broken. So just give it a few minutes. Make sure everything is blended up nicely. Few more seconds. I think that's good. So, and the other thing I wanted to say is always put greens, even if it's just a few, put greens in your smoothie, especially when you have berries, because you can never have enough greens and you can't taste them in here. You will not taste them at all. And especially if you're someone who doesn't particularly like to eat them, then put them in your smoothie and you're going to get all the nutrients. And they're just great for your lungs. I mean, you got to think that, it's chlorophyll from the sun. And so you can't have too many. So put them in your smoothie. Don't drink a smoothie without some greens. So we're going to put this in. This is, and you could have a meal and just drink this yourself. What I like to do is I split it with my husband, and he likes it too. And then that way you're really only getting a half a cup of raspberries and a quarter of banana, because we split the banana. So I'm gonna have a sip here, taste it. It's really good. Andy, would you like to try some smoothie for our guests?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's real hot out, so it's refreshing, it's creamy.
Can you taste the spinach?
I cannot taste it. It's good. Really good.
And so, thank you. Okay. You may leave now. Just kidding. Just joking. So I'm going to move this here, and we're going to move on to our green juice. So, not everybody has a juicer, I realize. This is a middle of the road juicer. But just to show you what it does, you put the vegetables in here. This on top, it puts the pulp on one side and the juice on the other. So all you're getting is all the nutrients, the vitamins, the enzymes, and it goes basically straight to all your cells. It's a really great burst of sunshine, really. So this is a basic green juice that I'm going to make that most sources, this is not my original recipe, but you will find something similar out there. And the thing is, it's good to follow it at first, but then once you get going with it, you start to realize, oh, I can use up these vegetables that I didn't finish, and you just start making up your own thing. But to get you started, we're going to turn this on. Can you hear me? Okay, so we want 1 English cucumber. You can just use regular cucumbers also. This is organic. If you don't have, you really should use organic, but if you do have local, that's good too, and I would just peel it. But to me, if you're really going to do a green juice, you really want it to be organic, because you're basically trying to give nutrients to your cells, and if you don't use organic, now you're getting a bunch of pesticides and that. Anyway, so here we go. Just drop it in there. 1 cucumber. And then I'm going to kind of turn it off in between so I can tell you what I'm doing. This is some kale that I received from my friend's garden, and I'm just going to put all of this in there. Normally, I think the recipe that I'm going to post on my website, realvibranthealth.com, it has, I think it's like 3. The kale usually you see in the store is pretty big. But this is, like I said, this was just picked from my friend's garden, so it's awesome. And it's organic. So we're just going to dump it right in there, stems and all. Sometimes a little difficult to get it in there, but we'll do it. Oh, here's another. Runaway kale. And then next we're going to put in, this is a lemon, a whole lemon that I peeled in advance. And that kind of helps with greens. It's important to remember that you want some vitamin C with it. And I just remembered that I forgot to put a half of a lemon squeezed in my smoothie, but it'll be up correctly on the website, realvibranthealth.com. Sorry about that. I just remembered now that I used that lemon. So, oh well, that's the way it goes in live TV. So then we're going to do some celery. We have 4 stalks of celery here, which is really great. I'm just going to cut off the ends. Really great for all sorts of things. Lots of fiber in here. Oh, we're not getting the fiber. Okay. Now we're going to add some 4 stalks of celery, organic of course, that I've pre-washed. All of this is pre-washed. It's kind of fun. So much fun. And then the recipe that I usually use has, it's romaine lettuce. This is also from my friend's garden. And so it's about 3 pieces of romaine. It's, but this is, I just did a little bit more since they're smaller pieces. So we're going to throw some of that in. So at the store you would just use, you know, those are usually a big head of lettuce that they have there. So, romaine overboard. And then 2 more things we're adding to this. We have some, you never have to throw away your broccoli stems again. Usually we cut them off and we eat the flowers for our, you know, whatever we're cooking dinner, our vegetables. So now I just keep these. It's a great cruciferous, lots of cancer-fighting properties. It's a little tough. And one more thing. Did you do the core? Dogs are barking outside. So this is 1 green apple. You could also use pears here. And depending on how, this is a pretty big apple, so I would only use 1. But if you have a smaller apple, I would maybe use 2, or a pear. But I would only, you know, if you use other types of fruit, then you start to get into the higher sugar content. And that's it. So, that is our green juice. It's lovely and vibrant. So we're going to get some wine glasses because why not? It's better than wine. One. Now, if you have any left over that you're not going to drink in one sitting, I have you always want to keep this, it can oxidize, so you want an airtight jar. You know how I love jars? So you just put it in here, make sure it's closed tight, keep it in the refrigerator, and it could keep up to 24 hours. But after that, I wouldn't have it after that. About 24 hours is good. So I'll put this in here, like so. Some of that could be for the morning. Okay, so there's the green juice. I'm going to get Andy and have him test it out. Andy, you want some green juice?
Yes.
This is his favorite. Cheers. What do you think?
What I love the most about this is that about 20, I would say about 20 minutes after drinking it, you'll just breathe a little easier and your body just feels good. Yeah.
Great. All right, so there you have it. We made a smoothie and some green juice. I invite you to try these recipes. I'll have them on my website at realvibranthealth.com. I also wanted to just say a shout out to my friends at Chrome Salon who helped me with my hair today. So check them out, chromesalon.com. And that's it. So we'll see you soon. Welcome. Come back anytime.